San Antonio, welcome to All Things San Antonio podcast. And usually I say I'm your favorite realtor, but Gilley's probably more favorite than me. But yeah, a bunch of realtors in San Antonio.
I'm third favorite.
Ken got demoted. He's not even a realtor in this one.
But if you have a house that needs to be bought that's in distress, I can help you there.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go.
Brought to you by Olive Gate Homes. Your path to peace of mind.
So just starting off, we always start them off, talk about how'd you get to San Antonio? What brought you here? Are you from here originally? I'm an original.
I'm a transplant.
Ken's a military brat.
Nice.
That's the two things. You either got here because of the military somehow brought you, or you're born here.
Yep.
That's the only two ways you get to San Antonio.
I know. I was born here, so born and raised here. Been here like literally my entire life. I left for a little bit for school. I was gone for about a year.
Where'd you go?
Texas State.
So that's barely
That's not even gone, right? But I spent a lot of time over there at the time that I was there. But still feels like San Antonio.
Did you jump in the river?
I did not, because I technically didn't graduate from Texas State. I graduated from the A&M San Antonio, which is South Side. I'll get more into that, where I grew up. But I did have to take my last class there at Texas State. It was like I think a second level of accounting or something, in order for me to graduate from A&M San Antonio. And no joke, dude, I passed that. Like, I think I needed a 60 or something. I needed a D, and that's what I got. I don't know if the professor just hooked me up because he knew, but I was like, dude, that was the last class. And I got like the lowest grade that you can get.
The last class is always the hardest, right?
Yeah. I don't even know why, because A&M required that, but Texas State, if I would have got my bachelor's from there, they didn't require that third level. But in order for me to get it from A&M San Antonio, I had to have that class. But I was like, all right,
C's get degrees.
that's right. That was D's.
Hey,
it was a D.
D's get degrees.
It wasn't a C. I remember it was like in the 60s, and it was like that's like the lowest, and that's what I got. And I was like, all right, cool. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So born here.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I got off track with that. But yes, but born and raised here. Yeah. My bad. Grew up South Side. Lived there my whole life. Even after graduating college, I moved into the house that I ended up buying it for my parents, actually, that I grew up in down there in the South Side, and lived there for another 3 years. So up until probably about 24 is when I moved out of the area. All the schools down there, just all my family was down there, friends were down there. Now everybody's kind of moved around. But I remember growing up in the South Side, right? Like, you would never leave the area. It was like, it wasn't even a thing to travel past downtown, maybe downtown, exactly, maybe if anything. But and we didn't even have a lot down there, so you ate Mexican food every day, or like a fast food, right? Like a McDonald's or a Whataburger or something. But it was just like
Whataburger's a treat.
It was like, but it was all taquerias that were down there, Mexican restaurants. I remember when we got a Chick-fil-A. I mean, not a Chick-fil-A, I'm sorry, Chili's at South Park Mall. That was like the first nice restaurant that we got. Yeah. And all my siblings worked there, because I never worked there. I worked at the H-E-B's, but
People in San Antonio either work at McDonald's or H-E-B.
Yep.
For their first jobs. Like, those are the only two that...
Mm-hmm. H-E-B
or Santikos.
No, I don't know.
I think it's those are the main two.
You only had the Mayan. Yeah. It's called the Mayan. Yeah, it used to be something.
You graduate into that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But H-E-B was great, man. Like, I don't know if that... Back then, like, it used to be, their motto was, the customer's always right. And for sure, I felt like I got my customer service working at H-E-B.
Which one were you at?
I was at the one on Goliad. So that was the first one. I remember this, dude. I woke up my mom that morning. It was like 7 a.m. It was a summer. And I said, like, drop me off at H-E-B. Like, I'm going to go put in my application.
So it wasn't even the new one at that point in time?
No. Well, that one already had been there for a while, but there was nothing over there by Brook City Base.
So it was already moved. Because remember, it used to be where Gold's Gym is at.
Oh, yes.
So that was like the original H-E-B.
Yeah, no, it already had moved
okay.
over. So I think I started there in 2002 or something like that. But worked there all throughout high school and all throughout college, and even after, because graduated in 09, dude, and I couldn't find a job.
Oh shit, no.
That, like, I was making more at H-E-B, because I'd been at H-E-B for like 8 years already, than I was getting on job offers.
We were just coming out of that big old bubble.
The bubble, yeah. It was good, but H-E-B was a phenomenal company to work for. Yeah.
What's funny is that's how I met Lorenzo. You know.
Oh yeah.
Because I was in dry cleaning, had a cleaners, and then 07, 08, when all that shit happened, that went to shit.
Yeah.
Went to Rackspace, and that's how I ended up meeting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So all things happen.
So where in the South Side did you grow up at?
I was right by McCullum. So literally on the same street as McCullum, Formosa, and It was awesome. Like I love that area.
I used to get my windows tinted right there. It was called
Ramirez?
No, it was called One Stop. Right there is a car lot in front, and they did a window tint in the back, almost across, like kind of catty corner from the McDonald's right there on Pleasanton.
Oh yeah, by Turtle Car Wash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go get back in the day when you get your cars inspected, right? You take whatever like that. I don't know if this is gonna pass, but it'll pass there.
My place was on General McMullen.
Okay.
Hey, you don't even need it now.
Yeah, now you don't need it.
You don't need them anymore?
The inspection stickers are a thing of the past.
Well, that's
You still have to pay for it, but you don't have to get the inspection.
Here's my theory on that is like the whole reason for inspections is because you had a lot of bad catalytic converters, you had a lot of lead stuff, and everything, and so there's a lot of pollutants coming out. Now all the cars, even if the car is 20 years old, it was made in 2005. It's not polluting like a 1985 car is.
Yeah.
So they don't give a shit anymore, but they still make you pay for it when you get your thing.
Yeah, that's
so
wild.
it's like you just don't have to get it because it's good. We know it's going to be good enough.
Yeah.
They're not worried about the safety anymore.
The state just took the money
crazy.
from the tire shops.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And that's like the same
That was
thing.
there's a whole industry. There's that guy on San Pedro and Hildebrand. He had a whole badge and everything for inspections. Like he wore like a uniform. Like he made his own little uniform.
He was too official. I wasn't going there.
You just paid him $10.
That is official.
My windows are too dark always.
Yeah. Dude, that's wild. That's it. That makes me think of the roofs, right? Like, are they make you get an inspection or a permit for a roof and there's no inspection on it.
And they never go look at it.
They don't, right? Like, I don't know what the point is.
Yeah.
I think
you don't even
foundations
have to have a licensed
Well,
person.
foundations is
You
you
have to
have a
send the
structural
report, right?
engineer has
Yeah.
to sign up, but I don't think a roof you need anything.
You don't even have a licensed roofer. You just
No. Yeah.
Well, there's no such thing as a license.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a
You gotta get a
licensed
permit.
licensed
It's a
contractor, I
contractor.
guess.
Yeah.
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 That's wild.
The city's kind of
But-
backwards sometimes.
Yeah.
And that kind of just brings, now you're doing real estate kind of at all different levels. But you do a bunch of development stuff now, right?
Oh yeah. So well, still our main business and our main focus is on the sales side. So my wife and I were still doing that, running that, and doing well. We really enjoy it, right? But it had always been a personal goal of mine is to get into the real estate development space. And I started in about 2017. It was primarily in the land development space. And I'd like to share the story, actually, especially for realtors listening to this, right? Like, started with it, like, you don't know unless you ask. And in this case, I didn't ask. I just made it a point, right, that I threw it out there with this is what my goal was, right? And so the story was what who turned into to be a client initially, called me on a sign, guys from South Texas, and says, hey, I found this property. It's a 1 acre property. I'd like to come see it. I'm going to come down. Like to meet you at the site, right? Like thinking, okay, great. Met him. We ended up putting it under contract. I was representing the seller. In this case, brought the buyer here too, right? So we're under contract. And as we're going through the process, he's asking me, hey, set me up with an architect, which the architect was actually one of the owners, set me up with an engineer, all these people's putting things together. And I started sharing that my goal was to be a developer, right? Like that was why I got my real estate license, et cetera. So as we're going through the process and we're building this relationship, he's like, hey man, if you and your wife want to come in at whatever capacity you can come in at, however much money you can come in at, you can come in. Like you're more than welcome to. Right, he's bringing the value because he knows what he's doing on this side.
Yeah.
My thing is like I've got the relationships, the market knowledge of San Antonio. He's asking me, well, if we do this to this property, what will it be worth, etc. So we came up with a third of it, and that's when my eyes like just completely opened up to what opportunities are in that space.
What it
which
really
is
means to be in real estate.
In the development space, right?
Yeah.
And I at the time. We were flipping some homes. We had done a new build, and we were working on another new build. So we were doing a little bit of that in the investing side. We had a decent rental portfolio, but we hadn't done anything on the development side, the land development side, which our goal was always to start with land development and then to go vertical, which is to actually build the units. And so after doing that initially, I mean, it was a nice, I would call it a home run essentially, and that doesn't happen right now. Being in the space and being like, man, we just got lucky, or blessed, the first one, right? But it definitely opened up my eyes to the opportunity. And so since 2017, we've been actively in the space, right? The next goal between him and I were like, and this was with his leadership and experience, he's like, hey, let's go out and let's get 100 paper lots downtown, right? Let's do this in 12 months. We got 100 paper lots in 6 months. And so it was like, man.
When you say paper lots, what do you mean?
Paper lots is like you want to have lot position, right? So you're not essentially finishing the lot, right? So we would go out and we would buy the land and we would entitle it. And entitlement can have different meanings to it, right? Like the big one is rezoning, right? So if you take a single family lot and then you rezone it to multifamily or to IDZ, infill development zoning, now you're, depending on the area, right, you're increasing the value because you're maximizing the density. So if you're doing that in the area where there's lots, but there's housing that's needed, but there's not enough lots, and if you can increase it to where now instead of building one house, you can build 10 houses, you just increase the value of the property, right? So we went out and we started doing that specifically downtown, the east side. And I want to say we weren't the first ones down there, but we were down there pretty early. And we were getting good lot position, right? So we were buying these lots. That's when they were really pro-development. So rezoning was a little bit easier. Right now, that's got a little more tougher in the area. But we had some good success.
Depends on the area for sure.
Yeah, it does depend on the area.
Because we have, when I say we, my dad has 2 lots. He's got a duplex on Blaine and a lot that's multifamily on Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
And they went through, and when we need density, right?
Yeah.
That's all they talk about is affordable housing, and the best way to do affordable housing is to make the housing more dense. Mm-hmm. And they blanket rezoned anything that wasn't under construction or whatever back to single R4.
Oh.
So all those vacant lots and everything that were there that may have been multifamily or whatever, they automatically went to R4, and it's like you're like we're saying the city does things back. We're just like, why are we doing this in a blanket style instead of like looking and making?
Well, his dad had the duplex built, and they just hadn't got final, and they went and rezoned it. So when he went to refinance it, they had to go back
said
and
we can't do that because it says here it's zoned R4. Everyone was like, well, there is a duplex on the property.
Yeah.
And so
wow,
it's like
that's
the city.
wild. Yeah, the city.
The city. That's our
Why
city.
did
Did they rezone it back?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They recognize it. It's like
You were telling me a story about some stuff y'all were gonna do there on the east side, and Saul's or CPS had came and were like, hey, if y'all don't do whatever now, we're gonna like increase the price by multiples.
Oh yeah, that was on the west side. It was a Travis project, and I'll share I did a video on this, but just the timing, right, of these projects, right, like that. Like if your dad wouldn't have done that, then he wouldn't have been grandfathered in, right? So maybe that costed him $100,000 in equity.
Yeah.
Right. So the timing worked out, even though your dad had no idea the timing was there.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Travis project. In this case, because I think CPS is the one that had increased our fees of what it's going to cost him to bring in the electrical, the boxes, and all they need to do. We're paying like 3 times more than if we would have done it a year and a half ago. Right. Where we got lucky here, fortunate on this side, the savings. I was driving by that site like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. And I'm like, oh shoot, they're putting up all the sidewalks. They were putting up sidewalks. So I'm like, this is great, right? But I knew that we had to bring in the utilities from the street to the site. So what happens is, well, they put these sidewalks. Then when they put the sidewalks, they'll pour a brand new street. So the city has ratings on the street, right? The nicer the street, the better the street. If it's like brand new, then you basically have to repave it from block to block. If the street is like not new, it's old, it's got some potholes, and you're fortunate because then you just have to repave that area that you broke into the street. So thankfully, we were able to go. The city allowed us. The city did a good job for us here, but let us go and bring in the utilities, and then they repaved it. They were already going to repave it.
Yeah.
So like it worked out perfect on that case. But it's like, yeah, but the
because you drove by.
Because we drove by, and I was like, I called the utility. I'm like, dude, like we can save some cash, right? Like let's try to make this happen. And thankfully, he made it happen really quick. So shout out to you, Paulie. Thanks. yeah, he moved quick, but yeah.
It's amazing, like as you move further in and do more development, like, oh, I got a utilities guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can like take care of these things.
And I think the big one is the experience of what that brings, right, in terms of value, monetary value. Yeah. Like, should I have seen that, I would have known that. Should I not have gone through that process before with bringing in utilities, et cetera, it would have been like, man, this is great. They're bringing utilities. I mean, they're pouring new sidewalks, asphalt. Like, I don't think I would have moved that quick, right? Because we weren't really we had already been talking about it, but we weren't ready to bring in utilities tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is what we did in this case. It was like, dude, let's make this happen. And I think like within a week, he was already on site, cutting up the street and everything. Got all the permits that we needed to get, called the engineer, all that. So
that's fast.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out great. But I think that's like that's where for us on the development side, right, anybody in development, like you get a lot of value with the experience, which can save a lot of money.
Well, that's the at least what I found was like you only can get this knowledge by actually doing it. It doesn't matter how many videos you watch, how many podcasts you listen to, and books you read.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things as you go through that, because things change. Like, hell, we've got a property that the inspector comes out and it's like, oh, we're going to look at these things and stuff, and we fix the things that they look at. Then the next inspector comes out, which isn't the same inspector. He goes, oh, yeah, but I also want you to do this, 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 and this. And it's like, why don't they don't teach that in the book? It's like, because there's just so many variables to this game.
Yep.
But it's fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of moving parts. I mean, the flipping side, there's a lot more, I think, hands-on, right? I think on the development side, what you got more risk.
Yeah.
Right. So like in these last few years, this is where we've kind of really felt it, especially with having all of this land banked and the market not doing what it's doing, right? Like, I think what happens if you're on the flipping side, or if you have something tangible, a house on it, you got some collateral, right? You can go and get some rent.
Yeah.
Even if you're paying a $2,000 mortgage and maybe you're getting $1,500, well, you're losing $500. That's better than losing $2,000.
Yeah.
What land deals, you're not, right? So like, I think that that for us has been the tough part in these last 2-3 years, but the experience has definitely helped.
So if you weren't careful, it could have really turned your life upside down.
For sure. Well, like, very, very truthfully, it has. Like, it really has. Like I feel like I've been in the last 2 years. Like, we're getting there to where I think things are really going to take off, and I feel very optimistic about that. And it's just happening, right? But like the last 2-3 years, it requires a lot of debt service, right? So you got the high debt service for us because we weren't buying all this land cash. And so like, as I study more developers, and especially land developers, typically they don't want to buy land with the hard money, right? Or any type of private money. They're always buying it cash because of these situations. If you get caught in a position like this, right? Like where the market really turns, you can't get rid of this. So that's been the toughest one. And so basically I felt like we've been working to cover the debt service. And then it also requires a lot of capital, right? Because now you're saying, okay, well, I got to entitle this thing. I got to get engineering. I mean, I got to get architecture. I mean, for a good project, you can be easily $150,000 in a soft cost, plus or minus, right? That does increase the value of the land, but you're not getting anything out of it immediately. I mean, it could take 2 years for these projects to take off, even longer than that.
It just creates equity. It creates space money, but you can't touch it.
Correct.
Yeah.
You can't touch it, and hopefully you find a buyer, right? And that's why I really feel like on these land deals, on anything with real estate, you make money on the buy.
Yeah.
Right? As long as you buy right, like even if you're like, okay, well, I was hoping to make a 50% profit margin or whatever, right? And you bought it right, well, you at least know you can get out of it and get your debt service. I mean, people are buying, especially in San Antonio, there's a lot of room for growth. Like, people are still buying.
Yeah.
But my thing is, like, some of the things that we had, the projects that we had, weren't for an institution type buyer builder, right? Like, you get projects like that for an institution buyer, like let's say a Lennar, a D.R. Horton, somebody like that, or somebody who's got a private family office that they got private equity, they're coming in here and buying a 20, 30, $100 million project. That's okay, right? But like for some of these smaller deals, you got a 4-unit deal, 10-unit deal, 20-unit deal. That's a smaller investor developer. And those are the ones right now that are more conservative.
Yeah.
Right? They can't give the buyer a 3%, 4% interest rate, right? So like now they're trying to sell a product at rates at where they're at today. So unless they're buying to hold, it's really hard for them. They better buy that land right from you.
Tell us a little bit about that development you're doing on the south side right now.
Okay, so yeah, we got one off of Villaret, which is right across the street from Palo Alto. I'm grateful for that because, man, got my associates from there. I'm all in down there, right? But that's 80 units. So we have 19 duplex lots. It's basically a horseshoe type community. Duplexes are right down the middle, and then we got 21 single family lots on the right side, 21 on the left side. So 42 4,000 square foot lots and 19 duplexes, which will give us 80 doors total. and we're blowing and going. I was just there a couple hours ago, man. We've got utilities all going in. You've got the roads. The roads will probably start going in about a month or so, but it's happening.
Are you going to build on there, or are you going to sell the lots?
We're going to build. So we're going to do both, combination of both, right? So in a perfect world, and this is where I think it just is, as you grow and you do more of these projects, you can do more, right? Like a lot of times we weren't doing the horizontal development. We were just entitling and selling.
Yeah.
So in this case, we're doing all the horizontal development, and horizontal development is bringing in roads and utilities to the site. So you have finished lots, right? So like if
Sewers
sewers in, everything, all infrastructure.
Fire hydrant, ready to
roads, the amenity centers, everything.
So that's just over an acre?
No, that's 7.5 acres that we're building.
Yeah,
those
80 lots.
Units. Yeah. 80 doors. Yeah, 19 duplex and then duplex lots, and then 42 single family. But so we're going to sell those off to a builder, right? So we'll sell the duplex lots to a builder, and we've got right now basically some bank approval to go vertical on 15 of the single family lots. If we can do more than that, we'll do more than that. But that's
15 solid, 15 at a time.
Oh, 50, yeah, very solid. Like and in this case, it being our first one, right? Like I'm not emotionally attached to it either.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of this project. This is for sure the biggest project to date that
What's the name of the neighborhood?
On. Billeret Commons.
Okay.
Yeah, Billeret Commons, and we'll have some information online. BilleretCommons.com. Getting the sign out there. That'll be out there Friday. So we're gonna start making a push to get these sold. But
how does that project start? Was it 7 acres that you bought all at once, or were you buying lots individually to pit it all together? How did you come about all that, the land, the property?
So the story on this, right? My wife and I bought the first 2.5 acres back in 2021. So we bought it and we rezoned it, and I was like, well, this would be a good project, right? That we could.
What did you rezone?
We rezoned it to multifamily. So it was MF, I think MF 18 is what we got, which allowed us to put those 19 duplex lots, right? Which is why they're in the middle. So that was 2.5 acres, and then the other 2.5 acres is on the left. The other 2.5 acres is on the right, right? So as we started going through on this process, my wife and I, we got it rezoned, etc. We had somebody that wanted to basically come in and partner with us, and we were going to contribute the land as equity, and they were going to do some syndication on it, right? We hadn't done that before. No experience with it, but it sounded good, and we were like, hey, we're not opposed to it, right? So started going through all the motions during that process, ended up contracting the lot to the right. And that owner of the lot to the right was going to do the same thing and participate with us in the deal, right? And then the owner decided, hey, you know what, I can't do that anymore. I'm just going to have to sell it outright. So we ended up, my wife and I, going through that process where we were going to buy that one next door as well, because the syndication thing was no longer going to happen. Right, but I still believed in that project, that area.
Yeah.
So got that one, and during that process, I was trying to rezone that one too to multifamily, but because of what's happened on Billeret, they built. I don't know if you've seen those Palomino apartments that they built, and there's another tiny home project. There's a lot of development going in there. Because of that, there was just too much density, and Palo Alto was worried about the traffic. So said, okay, no more rezoning, right? Like we're not going to increase the density anymore. So now, because we have R4, we can still turn it into single family lots, right? The most that you can fit, you got 43,560 square feet, right? Yeah. Whatever that times 2.5, whatever that is, call it 120,000. So however many you can fit, 4,000 square foot lots, including the road, that's what we decided to do. And the number still made sense based on what we bought it for. So we ended up doing that. And then, this is crazy, right? So we ended up just buying that outright. And we've actually bought that with the partner that we have in the deal now. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to call this seller to the left. And so this seller to the left had a house on his, didn't have the land without the house like the one in the middle did. This one that we bought had a house, right? So both of them wanted it a little bit more than we paid for just the raw land, which was still okay. Called that guy, and he's like, man, what's crazy is that I literally just met with my agent today, and I decided to sell the house. And what I was told by neighbors, this guy hadn't ever wanted to sell, right? And now, God's timing.
Competition.
Called him. Well, no, I called him, dude, and he was like, "We're gonna sell." Like he said, the agent just left the house. He's gonna let me know what we can sell it for. Right, so then I called his agent, said, what's your agent's number? Called his agent, worked out a deal, I was like, dude, don't sell it. Like, let us buy this, right? So we ended up working out a good deal, put it under contract, and so then we closed on that one with our partner as well. So we started with the middle one, multifamily, 2.5 acres, and then we bought the one to the right and the one to the left. So that's what gave us 7.5 acres.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny how they just kind of like start falling into place.
It does. I just posted that on my story, right? Like, I think for us in the real estate side, especially in the development side, it's a lot of rejection, right? It's a lot of like, man, you think things are going to go this way. Somebody tells you something, they do something different. Like, and I really feel like all of that is part of God's plan, right? Especially I get more into my faith and connected with God. Like, I'm not even worried about it right now. Like, I feel like, okay, well, if it's not that if it's meant to be, it'll happen, right? Because you got to put the effort and the energy into it. But like the other one that didn't happen, and I was like, I didn't know enough about it. Hey, I'll contribute the land, the syndication side, go do it. But I was never really bitter about that not going through. I was like, I still believe in this. I'm gonna go figure this out and find the one next door, right? Like I'm gonna make that one still happen next door as well. And then that one I felt like was God's timing on the other one. Like, dude, just calling him and meeting with the agent the same day, like catching him before he goes on MLS or whatever else, like. That's definitely not my plan. Like,
so when you move the right way, things like that happen. Just like driving down the west side, seeing them do the street.
I agree.
That lot coming available, or that house coming available, and
we talk about all the time. As long as if you're actively doing something, things will happen.
Yeah, I agree. I would say 100% with that. Like, and especially on the real estate investing development side, right? Like, this has always been my thing, and I heard this from Grant Cardone. And we did it with our kids growing up. Still do it. Like, I'll still go just drive around, right? Looking for what's happening for areas, like who's selling what. Like, then that's how some of these things that I found, right? You see a for sale by owner sign, something that's not even an MLS. You're like, dude, this is a really good deal. Like, we'll get this kind of thing. But I think but recently we've been praying for like the right people come in our life, right? The right things to happen. Like, and so I'm not forcing these things to happen. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do my part to make these things happen from just a realtor, investor side, a fiduciary, a steward of people's money. But if it's like, if it aligns and it's like, hey, you asked for this, I'm putting it right in front of you. Now it's up to you to execute. Those are the kind of things where I'm like, man, that's a God thing.
Yeah. Got to throw the net.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there's a book called The Power of Who. Mm-hmm. It's like you already know everybody that you need to know, that you need to get to where you need to go. Mm-hmm. You just need to start talking to them.
Yep.
And like that's sort of thing we found like with this podcast stuff like this. It just is a great way to create more conversations with people.
Exactly. Yeah.
And things happen.
Mm-hmm. Network, right? You share your story. I'm like, hey man, I like these guys. I like Brad. I like Ken. Like.
Well, they always start with I like Brad, and then there's this
alphabetical order if it makes you feel better.
Kid the Barbie seems cool.
She's hot.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. But, yeah.
So what's next for you guys? Like, what are you out working on next? What's the next big project besides that one? After
all of this has been happening the last 2-3 years, right? Like I told Denise, I don't want to do anything else until we finish this up. Right. So like for right now, and not that I'm not open to opportunities or something falls in our lap or something like that, but I'm not actively seeking other deals until I can fulfill my commitment and obligation to this Villa project. Right. We have another 21 unit right down the street there's a pretty good chance that we're going to do the horizontal development on it. But after those two, until that debt service is honored, paid off, whether we bring in partners or whatever, we sell it to builders, I'm not going to actively seek anything, right? If something comes, for sure. And it's like, hey, this is the right time. We can make this happen. We can bring in the right people. Yes, but like, what else would be ideal for us is we would just continue to scale up on these developments, right? Sizes. So going from an 80 unit to 100 to 150 unit, maybe a 200 unit, and stay in that space, man. Like I really love it. Like since 2017, I was like, this is my calling. For sure. And if I can expand outside of here, like our partner that I mentioned in South Texas and Marco, man, I always thank him because he's the one who gave me this opportunity and really showed me the way. But like get down to the valley, right? He's down in the valley. If I can get into between here and Austin, there's land everywhere in Texas.
I got a guy with, I forgot how many acres it is, but it's up across by Canyon Scenic Loop.
Oh yeah.
I think he has it broken down to where it can be broken into like 80-something lots. He's looking for like $5 million for it.
Yeah.
So if you know anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, things like that would be good, right? But like as we go through those too, is and you'll see this, right? Is the infrastructure. The infrastructure there? Can you bring it, because the topography is so crazy on a lot of these, right? Most of them might have to have septics depending on the lot sizes. But
water.
What does the infrastructure cost? That's a big one. But obviously those areas are great. Yeah, it'd be worth looking at. But I think for us expansion, we would stay in Texas, and I feel like I would go after. Or I want to go after secondary markets, which is what San Antonio used to be, right? Like Austin, always a primary market. Dallas, Houston, San Antonio is now like the market, right? So I would put in the primary. And so secondary, you look at the Valley, right? You look at maybe Eagle Pass, maybe not even that, but like somebody, El Paso is what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
We talk about Lubbock a lot.
Lubbock. Yeah, I don't know enough about Lubbock, right? But like if I went and studied those areas, or College Station,
like Lubbock, like those areas now, the NIL and all is just getting more, even that much more money. Think about it, you have a football team that's making $300,000 each. They need houses. Yeah. They're not living on campus, these kids.
You've seen, they can't. So do you see that A&M and UT, and I know this because my daughter's applying for school right now, right? But both of them,
it's so hard.
It's very hard to get into now to those.
All of them.
But they reduced their acceptance rates. Mm-hmm. So I want to say like A&M was around 13,500 or something that they were accepting per year. They reduced that about 2,000.
Oh, wow.
UT reduced it as well. I think they're both. And if you're listening to this and you're a college expert, don't quote me on all this, right? But I think they're doing it until 2028, because the problem is they don't have student housing. That's the biggest issue. So now they're partnering with the developers outside of campus to go and develop these projects, right? So A&M, like our project would be perfect for A&M if A&M had that problem. Yeah. The reason they don't have the problem, they got 700 acres. Like they won't have that problem forever, right? But if A&M said, "Hey, we need housing today because our student growth is just insane," that would be perfect for them.
But if you look at the big schools, like most of them are positioned in parts of town that, whether they've brought the parts of town to it. So look, UTSA is right there in the middle. Yeah. Texas State. Look, UT is right smack dab in the middle of Austin. Incarnate Word's in the middle of San Antonio. Like a lot of these schools are smack dab in the middle. Yep. And they probably weren't in the middle to begin with and kind of just built around it. But and A&M opened up kind of late in the game, like A&M South.
Oh, yeah.
A&M San Antonio. Yeah.
The San Antonio one. Yeah. I mean, but it's growing. I don't know if y'all have been down there lately. Man,
I never thought I would see a neighborhood with Perry and Lennar.
And Perry and Lennar. And Sitterly, dude.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's
like
true.
500 on the south side. Like,
yeah. And they're selling.
Yeah.
When you're driving by there, so like, dude, they're not having a problem. It's a supply and demand thing,
they got
right?
University Hospital going in down there.
Yeah. That's massive. Massive. So like thinking about that, and that's why I think all the like Lytle, Pleasanton, all of these little towns that are south of there, Castroville, are going to continue to grow. It was somebody
grow by a shit ton.
Well, a developer, I think it was a developer that told me this, right? Like when you get a major hospital like that, those towns now, like it fuels their growth because they have healthcare or hospitals to come into that's within a close proximity. So Lytle, you can get there from Lytle in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, which is what helped on the southeast side. You talk about Floresville, all of that.
Lytle's got a big old HEB.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing great. And they got that big data center that's not going to bring a lot of jobs, but economically what they're doing, like how much that costs to build is insane.
But there's so many of them because like in Medina County, they got the chip manufacturing companies, they got data centers coming in, and the jobs that are coming in, though, are going to be high-paying jobs.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what's crazy? Like, Medina County, I know for one, like, they're not allowing new neighborhoods right now because of the lack of water.
Bandera's the one that really, like, Bandera has said if you, any new neighborhoods have to find their own water source.
Wow.
They cannot use any Bandera water.
Yeah, because I was talking to somebody
because water's so important, right? That is the thing right now is water.
Yep. Yeah, it's like gold.
Yeah.
Corpus is running out of water too.
Are they?
Yeah. All the
aren't they on the water? No.
They are, but they don't do desalination.
I don't understand how desalination isn't a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It seems of all the things that we turn oil into plastic and we can't take salt out of water. Mm-hmm. It's like it seems like we should have like a better system. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a smart guy.
Yeah. Me neither. Now that's
I'll invest.
Yeah, right, man.
But no, I've been reading articles that a lot of the plants down there are taking up a lot of the water, and they just don't have enough water.
That's wild. You know, I was at a private family office event, and a lot of it is like where these private family offices are putting their money, right? Where are they injecting their money at? Well, water was like the big topic there. It was. They were like, it's like gold, right? And so what they're doing, and they were like, even if you're not the one actually, the plant that's bringing it over or whatever, right? That's figuring that out. If you're part of the infrastructure, like to build these tunnels, to do the piping, etc. Like they're like, it's massive right now. They're bringing it in from Mexico, is my understanding. So, like, I think Arizona was one of them, and they're tunneling it all over.
Oh, that's crazy.
Water from
Yeah.
Mexico?
Yeah, usually you don't drink the water in Mexico.
Yeah, that's
right?
my
what they say.
understanding.
Yeah. It's usually Chapo tunneling in from
Yeah,
Mexico.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liquid gold, maybe.
Oh,
They
Chapo's
could go.
coming
That's
through.
right. Yeah.
But I didn't realize they were bringing it from Mexico.
That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
I mean, eventually, like, I even back the day with NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, like, I don't understand. That's another thing I don't understand. Is like, we're so tightly, like, bound with, like, Mexico and South Texas and all this stuff. We should have a great working relationship. And that's what, like, we when visiting, like, border towns, like, that line is an artificial line drawn by some guy in Washington and someone down in Mexico City. Like, but those communities, that's one community. They live both sides of this.
They just overlap.
They overlap. Like, they're coming across, especially not so much like on the where there's the big crossings and stuff like that, like border crossings. But like when you go to places like Alpine and Marfa, and you get out to West Texas where you have real small communities, farm communities, like they've always just gone back and and it's like
Well, same thing with El Paso. Like they go back and forth for work, and like it's literally like you're driving down the highway and you can see the border.
Yeah.
I've almost driven into Mexico accidentally in El Paso. Like all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I took a wrong turn somewhere.
You ever seen Due Date, the movie? He was like, Mexico. I thought I said Texaco. We're low on fuel.
That's awesome. I see that.
That movie's funny. But cool. So that's dope. Like you're doing a lot of stuff that is super cool. Like coming from the South Side. Like I assume you probably weren't rich on the South Side growing up. Like got a job when you were 16, worked, and now you're developing 80 plus unit lots.
Yep.
Changing the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like when say, like we grew up in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1,000 square foot house. I say one bed, had 2, but the my parents' bathroom never worked, right? So we would all share that one bathroom with 6 of us. I had 4 siblings, myself and 3 other siblings, and my parents, right? Like prior to that, we were in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 700 square foot house on Commercial. So like there was no resources, right? And I think even like now coming in, I'm thankful because my daughter wants to get into real estate development. In the perfect world, she go in A&M, and they've got a great master's land development program down there. But when thinking of when I first got in, not only just not having the capital, but not having the resources, right? Which I'm grateful because everything that I've done, I've had to learn through experience, like or through failure, through successes, all of that. So I'm not missing any steps, which I think is like one of the greatest gifts that we could get, right? Like, would I have done this differently? Should I have, or not say should have, I've always known that I wanted to do real estate development. Would I have gone down a different path if I had a mentor or different probably. Like, I don't think for anybody who's wanting to be a big real estate developer, right, like getting your real estate license is the way to go. But that's the way it was for me, and that was my plan.
But that was the vehicle that took you to be able to do that. That's what I tell people,
Exactly.
like a real estate license, like I might be wrong, but I don't know anybody that wants to go and show houses and sell houses their whole life. Like it should be used as a vehicle to get to where you want to go and do the things you want to do.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But that's the thing when I got my license. Before I got my license, I wanted to invest. I wanted the same thing. I wanted to be an investor. I wanted to. Didn't know exactly everything I wanted to do, but I wanted to do stuff in real estate because I saw a great opportunity. And I ended up getting my license. And then that's when I saw, like, I went to Sabor. I didn't go to Champions like a lot of it. I went to Sabor. And every instructor, a lot of them were brokers and stuff, and they were all doing different things investing.
Yeah.
One guy was holding notes. One guy was doing this, had this rental property. It's like, oh, shit. Like if you really want to be in real estate, you need to be in real estate. And that's where I think, like, even as to be a developer and stuff, you have to have an intimate knowledge of this of the community, your primary market, and the best way to do that is to buy and sell in that market.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And I think that has the biggest advantages. Like at that point, it's like, okay, where can I get some money? You know, I've got, because it's the idea, from someone who doesn't have that background and stuff like that, but if you have that intimate knowledge, that becomes your valuable. Like you were saying, it's like when you did that first project and everything, like your value, you bought into a third, but your value really was like you knew exactly the highest and best use case. Yep. You knew this guy that you can contact at this place. Like that knowledge 100%. That only comes about by doing the job.
Yep, 100%.
And it's a job until it's not a job. Like right now it's a job, and we don't want it to be a job. We want it to be like this thing that we've created that fulfills all of our... Like,
as a developer, though, if you didn't have that knowledge of it, you would have had to go hire somebody and trust their knowledge.
Yep.
And I would say, even just looking at investors, people doing flips and things like that, and you look at it, you're like, okay, I can go hire an agent, but does that agent really know what they're doing? Correct. Or are they just worried about like trying to get that sell?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I think even the NARS data shows that like, what is it, like 7% of agents like invest in real estate or have a second, which is hard, right? Because are tough for the investor, right? Because they're relying on you to make these big decisions, and people going around like best investment on earth is earth, or go grow your rental portfolio. And it's like, bro, you don't have one rental house. Yeah. You've never like, it's hard to be an advocate and really advise somebody without that lack of experience, right? And maybe you're not doing it necessarily. That's just, I try to use the analogy of a coach, right? Like, I try to give grace because I was pretty hard, like when people would push that agenda. I'm like, dude, you're advising them completely wrong. But like a coach, right? Like a great coach, football, Bill Belichick, he might not have been an NFL star, right? But he can coach very well. He's got the right information. Yeah. So I think you can be successful with the information, but it's hard to beat the lack of experience, right? If you have both, you're deadly. Like I feel like we're just getting started. Like I'm grateful for all this experience, all this boots on the ground. But now when I go and find in 10 years from now, 15 years now from the next Gilley, I'm like, dude, this guy's got it. He just needs somebody to show him the way. It's like, I want to partner with this young man, right? My daughter hopefully goes through all the motions. She gets her teeth kicked in and she understands the process. And I know she's built, right? And 10 years from now, it's like, let's go to war. Let's go build this thing. Let's go really grow it. Because I know what it takes. Yeah. Because I've gone through it. Should I not have gone through it? It's like, well, I don't know. Is this guy real, or is this girl real, or are they not real? Yeah. Right? So I think that's where like that's really going to be helpful in the next season of life.
And that's where for them it like Sharon, he talked about on one of the podcasts, talking about like this is the steps that people take. Yeah. When his children were getting ready to start investing and stuff like that, there's like, okay, single family homes and everything. You did this and everything. He's like, but I know that multifamily is better to start. Like, why would I have them go through this?
That's true.
Remember, he talked about that in that Dallas event.
Yeah. If I can take them straight, they can now take my knowledge also. Yeah. Now they take my knowledge also, and now we can really amplify it.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's what the next generation. That's what like you've taken out all the like. I don't want to call it elementary learning because it's like it's really important information and stuff like that. But that foundation, like any good house, any good structure, you got a great foundation. Yep. And now you add your kids, the youth.
But it's such a thin and hard line.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Yeah. None of my kids want to do real estate.
But it's such
the nurses and shit, man.
They got better jobs.
But it's such to go earn a living.
It's such a hard thin line on there, like. Kids don't have to learn the lessons we learned. Yeah. But then it's so easy for them to be like the trust fund baby or the not have to learn what work is.
Yeah.
And there's like a thin line between that. Like I saw you post the other day, you had your kids out there cutting the grass. Like I haven't cut the grass in years, but now they're doing it.
Yeah, I have them do all types of stuff, right? Like I literally, and we're not like wealthy by no means, like F you kind of money, right? But I learn from very wealthy people.
But the people voting against Project Marvel, you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we should talk about that a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
But it's that's funny. But it's one of those, like, they're still passing down those lessons to their kid, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was listening to Ed Milet podcast, and he talked about his daughter wanting a vehicle. The guy made her go buy her own vehicle, right? This is a guy that could probably get a check for anything, right? I'm not that crazy or that extreme, right? Because I realize my daughter's still in school, she's playing sports and all those things, but there's some stuff, like, for sure, like, I'm still very hard on them, right? Anytime you want to make your own money, my son wanted a dirt bike, dude, you got to go earn it. The bro literally was like cutting grass, power washing, all these things that make sitting out. They go and sit like countless times. It's just not a one and done thing. All the time they're going and setting up their table right in our front yard and selling whatever we got, whatever's in the pantry, whatever clothes. Like, dude, they're gonna be really. I really believe that. Like, they're gonna be gifted at selling and working hard, right? Like, and I tell them, like, you guys have to. Like, Dad's not gonna pay for this. There's one, my other son, right? I said I'll match it. His dirt bike is $400. You go earn $200, and Gilley's.
You like him better?
Yeah, baby, Gilley. Yeah. He's younger. He's 8.
Oh yeah,
He's 8. That's the baby.
That's the baby.
That's the baby. I said, Dad'll match it. You go make $200.
And Mom can get $200. Dad can give you
Yeah. They park cars too, dude. There's just like they hustle. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's like my son. We had a yard sale the other day, and some guy came up and he was trying to make some money, and he had some toy he was trying to sell, and like the guy didn't have any kids with him, so he was like, "Hey, do you have like kids or nieces and nephews or whatever?" He was like, "Yeah, I do." He was like, "Hey, well, I got this like helicopter that I'm selling. Like, you can give to them."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Bro, he just created the need for something, and then filled the void." Like,
that's awesome.
My son Zane, he's an engineer now, but like when he was like 5, like the little rubber bands, bracelet things, like the Live Strong were all popular back at the time. He had like all these different ones, and he had a bunch. He started selling. He'd like a lemonade stand in the front yard.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm selling these little rubber bracelet things for $1 a piece, and he goes, he's talking to his grandfather. He goes, how do I get, like, there's not enough people. He's 5 years old, not enough people, and he goes, I want to put a sign at the corner, right there at the corner on New Braunfels and everything. And his papa was like, well, you got to get a permit. Like, you can't just go put signs up and things. He's like, well, where do you get a permit? He's like 5 years old, and he's like, well, take me to the city. I need to get a permit. I need to make some money. I'm like, and then he became an engineer.
Oh, that's
he should have just done it. I got a picture,
salesman,
of my son and daughter literally getting stopped by the city. This was in the summer at the lot. So they sell waters there and they park cars, right? Like, my daughter's old enough to drive, and so they go do this, right? And cops come up or the city of San Antonio Code Enforcement tells them they can't be, and like it's just awesome experience, right? They learn from it. I knew that they needed permits. But, dude, you're going to go stop at 8, 11.
Yeah. You ain't going to give them a ticket.
That's okay, right? You can do that. But they'll just have to learn it on their own, right? Like, I don't think you're doing necessarily anything illegal. I'd never condone anything illegal, but I guess
don't mind.
Yeah.
Not all
selling
laws
water. Like,
Well, when I was a kid, we'd go to Mission Flea Market. That was our spot.
Oh, yeah.
Saturdays and Sundays, like, my mom was there. Like, she wasn't there to sell stuff. Like, she was buying stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, we were there every weekend. So I found a lady that sold expired Slim Jims, the long ones, for like 10 or 15 for $1. Like, they were still good. Like, nobody died.
Yeah.
And so I would buy them, and then I would buy them, take them to school, and sell them for $1 a piece.
I like that.
And just do that every week.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's awesome.
Flipping.
So let's get to the important stuff real quick.
Flipping Slim Jims.
Project Marvel.
Yeah, that's very important. I'm all 100% for Project Marvel. Vote yes. Man, I think we need it. I think we as a city, like, we need it. The economic impact, I've looked at that, right, of what the Spurs have had for the last 25 years, what's forecasted for the next 25 years.
How have you had enough time to look at it?
Well,
like,
I was there. We were there. Actually, you were in the room.
It needs more review. It's like, but you've already read it. It seems like
the mayor needs more research.
We need more time.
It seems like I thought it was like so large of a proposal that we need more time to review.
We need more time.
No, it's not that hard. It's not that difficult, right?
It's crazy. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't want to say I understand, because I really don't understand, right? Like, but I think you get the right information. But I think there's always going to be people against anything, right? Like, whatever that may be. Yeah, it's the opposition,
There's
right?
always
like,
ops.
Because this person wants it, well, I'm just going to say no just because it's him or her, right? Like, But I really believe, I think you got both sides that are in agreement. This is great for the city.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the Spurs have been a great partner for us for, 25 years?
They just gifted the city their old practice facility.
And you think about the investment that they put into the Rock, the Spurs club, that debt they're responsible for. So if the Spurs got up and left, they put this, I think it was like 100-something million or 300, I don't remember. Bobby had just said it at Mike's thing, but it was quite a bit. It's definitely over 100 million that they've invested into this. Think about it. If they go in default or they say, hey, we're gone to Austin in 3 years, like, they're on the hook for that debt. That's a city. It's not a public. The outside is public, right? But the inside is a private area, the Spurs club, and where they train. But you can go watch games tonight. You can go watch the game on the big screen. Yeah. You can walk to the restaurants. They have vendors out there. They have a green space.
They have great restaurants. There's Jason Dady out there.
Exactly. He's got 2 restaurants. He's got the one they.
Well, he has 3 because he has Rock and Mora. He has the barbecue one they just opened up, and then he has the Raspa stand.
Yeah, Raspa stand.
Dude, they're all in. Like, I don't get it. Like, I think they're participating. I seen the whole thing. It was like, well, look at what these billionaires have, and they should be like, bro, like, they are investing as well, right? And it's not at least from my understanding, everything that I've seen and what I read and going to these events where they're discussing it, right? It's not causing us anything as taxpayer dollars. It's the hotel,
and it's owned by the city.
Exactly.
Like, where else are you gonna find, like, your lots, your development downtown? You're not going to find a renter that's going to say, hey, I'm going to come in and build a house so I can pay you $4 million a year to live here.
It costs you $500,000. I'm going to give you $250,000 and you still own it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to pay rent.
But that's happening in other cities.
Yeah.
Other cities that have NBA teams and sports teams and such, the cities are putting up the money and then the organizations are owning the facilities. Like, it does happen in other cities. Like, it's not happening here. But, like, the thing that pisses me off is when they say the city doesn't get any, like, the city's not, like, it's not for everybody. When, like, the biggest part that doesn't get talked about enough, I think, is that Western District area. That's where the current Frost Center is and the Freeman Coliseum over there, like, where they're going to create a bigger district, a Western district for San Antonio, that they can expand the rodeo. They bring in schools for livestock stuff and everything, and show them how like the farm and the ranching and everything like that. That's for all the schools that they can bring in kids and stuff like that. That part alone is worth doing everything. I feel like just really kind of expanding that out, because
that's the Prop B part.
Yeah. Right. But it all ties in together. Like if the Spurs are still over there, then it can't happen.
I mean, I understand we're voting for stuff, but it seems like we're already there. Like, Institute of Texan Cultures is gone.
Well, they're still reviewing that too.
They're still reviewing that too. They're gonna reconstruct it.
It's gone.
And that's where I feel like I've said this a bunch. Like, I'm so pro tearing stuff down. Like, the sentimental value over sticks and stones at the end of the day is crazy. Like, because the experience and and what that was is not what we're experiencing. That was somebody else's life experience. That was their memories.
Like that old house in the Alamo Dome parking lot?
The old house in the Alamo Dome parking lot is a great example. It's like, that could be 4 more parking spots. And nobody, it's like, it has storage, no value. Maybe. It's got no value. But we hinder things, hinder development. And like, I even talk, like, I think, like, the same with, like, King William. I get this, like, having, like, nice things and stuff. But I'm like, tear it down. Let's build something. Let's build something more modern and better, more environmentally friendly, that has better AC. That's not like all of this thing. Like, it's better.
Air leaking out in the windows. I've never got that, and that's actually why I stopped, like, flipping homes back in the day in these historic areas, because it was such a pain, and it made no sense. Half the things, and I don't know if you drove by the one that was on Callahan Street forever. It was just being held up. It was the front of the house only. It was being held up by like 2x6s. Did you ever see that? I think it finally blew over because it's not there. Like, no joke. And one of us could have just went like this, and we would knock the whole front wall down. It was wild. Well, I'm like, what's the point of this?
Downtown, across the street from the Alamo, there's the I don't know which building it is there, and they've got all 4 walls of this old building held up by I-beams and everything, and the entire thing inside is gone. And it's like, just tear down those walls too and build a new building. Like the amount of money that developer has to spend to maintain those walls and then do all of that stuff, that's where affordable housing comes from. That's why housing isn't affordable. If they could build in, just get rid of it and start fresh and everything, then you can, like, it costs less to build, which means the rents can be less. But we put so much. It's, again, I don't know.
Well, people talk about schools,
circles,
like
yeah. No, I'm following you.
It's irritating.
Yeah,
but people talk about the schools need money. Hey, well, projects like these bring more school taxes.
Oh yeah.
To pay for the schools.
Yeah.
Like we looked up floodgate apartments.
Yeah. But I learned something about that.
Yeah, but I mean it gets distributed out differently. But floodgate apartments,
$500,000.
like $500,000 a year just on that. I think it's
a
quarter acre lot downtown on Commerce. Is paying like $500,000 a year into school taxes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it doesn't. And that's where our school taxes, because it's San Antonio Independent School District, but they don't get it. Like all the school taxes, they don't go to necessarily. They don't go.
They have a Robin Hood system.
They go to the state, and then the state then distributes them based on all that stuff, and it's like, and that's where like. It's interesting what a lot of the schools are doing with like the school choice, like Northside, like you can go to any school that you want to within there now, and it's like that freedom. I think that choice is it's the school systems. I've got a lot of thoughts about the school system.
Yeah.
It's because I think that they just teach you to be good citizens. It's the 80. You're not teaching the land developers.
Well, I'm hoping to give out the vouchers
I got
we can
my
use that to
thoughts
pay for
right.
the private school.
I should say here. Get in trouble.
We love you.
Yeah, for real. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of good things that happening in the public school system. The change, right? Like as a Christian, I just saw that it's been passed, right? I think if the school wants to allow praying, it's kind of what I understood about it. Like now you can do that. You couldn't do that for a long time. So I don't know what else will happen, right? Like I do think the way the school system brings somebody up, I may have disagreement with, but I'm also I also realize that not everybody thinks like an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
right? Like
not everybody's meant to be.
Yeah, like as I can remember, like doing the things that I was doing, like the kind of like my kids are doing. Literally, we grew up doing that because my mom had no choice, right? So it was always a thing, like to go out and create money and just because we had to really survive essentially. But I don't know, like there's things that I think like with my daughter, right? If she was like just taught, maybe homeschooled, or I don't have the time to do that, but if we could invest that time and energy, or she was going into like some entrepreneur magnet type program, like I think she would probably really excel.
Yeah.
But I think for where we're at right now, like I start to look at it as like I want the foundation, right? I want like what she's learning in school, the values about God, etc., to be that foundation, right? Like I think as she gets older, hopefully it's our responsibility to teach the morals and the ethics and show her what it's like to work hard, not just tell her, right? She sees me every day, get up and do what I got to do, right? Like I can't tell her this and then be laying in bed or whatever that may be. So like, I think with the setup that we've got right now is I'm happy for it, right? Hopefully when she's out, she's learned all these things, she's got the foundation, the biblical principles, and then she just goes out and executes based on what she saw mom and dad.
Is she a junior?
She's a senior.
She's a senior?
Yeah.
See, I don't love homeschooling though. Like I get it. But I think it's so important to get out there and like build networks, learn communication skills, and
depending on how you do it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of like when you look at maybe the ultra wealthy, right, that have the freedom to say, okay, well, you're going to be on my jet, or like your nannies are going to come with us and travel everywhere across the country, right? And now they're going to France because they have the money to do that.
Like Grant Cardone with his daughter.
Well, I'm thinking of like our coach, like all of their grandkids, same thing, right? Like when they go and travel, all of them are coming with them. Their whole private family office is in business together, right? So like, and actually I met him through Grant Cardone seminar. They were investors together, but like he's an ultra wealthy guy, right? So like his grandkids are getting far more experience than our kids will ever get, being in different parts of the world, networking, coming into the office with them every day, working, like now having grown-up conversations as opposed to a 10-year-old talking to a 10-year-old all day. Now a 10-year-old's talking to a 30, a 40, 50-year-old. Like they're learning how to communicate and they're getting the best of the best instructors to travel with them. So they're not lacking anything, right? I think the way we would be able to do homeschooling right now probably wouldn't be more effective. I would be like, because one, I don't have the time, right? Unless I've got this nice private tutor, nanny, and I can take them. They can come with me in the office. That. Yeah, I agree.
They'll be driving around with you all
your
day.
Basics,
exactly.
your math, your grammar, and stuff like that. AI is going to be that instructor. Mm-hmm. Because all those things that are just rudimentary, and especially if you can have an AI that can be ultra patient, and can be flexible and teach it in the way that individual child needs it to be taught. Mm-hmm. Where like you put a teacher in front of a classroom with 30 kids that have 30 different needs, it's real difficult. But if you can put them in front of, and I think AI will take over parts of learning. I think that, and we've talked about before, is like I think that the role of the teacher have always been, and will be more, is like how to be a critical thinker, how to digest the information that you're given for truth.
Well, I think the way you get that is you stop teaching to the test and you start teaching to learning.
Truth, just whatever that.
But I like what you talked about your daughter going into real estate development.
Yeah,
and she's gonna be so far ahead of any of the other kids there going to that. Just like we talk about your son and the rocketry program. Yeah, like he was so far ahead of everybody else in college because of the program he was in for rocketry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I think and I've been intentional always with all of them, right? Like of having conversations, and we're just always on the phone because of the nature of our business, but always having conversations in front of them, knowing that they're listening, right? Yeah. So like half the time, which is good and bad, it is probably more than half the time, 90% of the time I'm on the phone in the car, right? And so like, should I be engaging them? Yes, but I know that they're paying attention because they don't have iPads or Kindles, never had them growing up. So there's no electronic device for them to look at. So all they're doing is listening to mom and dad the way they talk, right? So like I was very intentional about how I would conversate with people, what I would say, how I would end calls, how I would start calls, knowing like, okay, well, if I've got somebody I'm talking about real estate development, like try to keep that going and intentionally knowing that they're listening, right? Because they're getting an education based on that. So
I like it.
Yeah, like that was always a thing for me, right? And now that my daughter is old enough, and my son too, every chance I get, if they're not doing something with sports or with school, like, hey, come on, you're gonna come, right? Like, come with dad, right? Like I know, like they're watching. They're watching everything. They're walking these sites, these projects, and that's what happened to my daughter. Like my daughter said, I want nothing to do with real estate. I never pushed my kids to do anything that we were doing, right? And then her sophomore year, she had to write this thesis report, and she said, hey, Dad, I want to write this on real estate. This is what I want to do. I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah. I was like, let's go. I was so excited because like before it's like, well, I want to be a baker and then I want to be a designer and all this stuff. It's great. Whatever you want to do, baby, you're gonna kill it. All these things, right? But then when she said real estate, I'm just thinking to myself, like, man, that's just her being a product of her environment.
Yeah.
Like that's just what she knew. That's what she's grown up in. My son's like, well, he's, all kids will start, I want to be a professional football player or whatever, right? And then now he's 11, he's still very young, still kind of says those things. But he's like, Dad, I want to be a builder. That might change, right? But that's just...
Same, that's my son. I want to build houses.
Yes, exactly.
So Saturday we were walking flips, we were walking deals, and I was like, hey, you want to build like just houses? Or you want to build some of these we're driving by an Amazon warehouse, like you want to build something like that? Or like, what do you want to build? Mm-hmm. He's like, I probably don't want to build something like that. Like, that's going to take too long.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we have two final questions that we wrap everything up with.
Sure.
This is where the pressure on.
Let's go.
You might start sweating. You have to take the jacket off, cool off after this.
Dude, I am sweating.
I know, it's the hottest
You might make some new people mad with these questions.
I'm going to throw this water all over it. No, just kidding.
Let's go. Perfect timing.
Right.
Your go-to spot
Ooh.
for breakfast tacos.
Oh, dude. Man, I haven't had so good. I don't know if I have a go-to spot because I never get breakfast tacos. That's crazy that sounded, and I've been doing intermittent fasting. I know this sounds silly for 10 years. Yeah.
10 years? What, man?
Yeah. For a long time. I just never eat breakfast. Sometimes I eat breakfast, but dude, I couldn't even say. Like, seriously, that's such a hard question.
What was your favorite taco when you had them?
Well, favorite Mexican restaurant for me, if I was going to go get tacos, is Nicha's in the South Side. So, I love Nicha's. That's right off of Roosevelt Road. Yeah. Still go there
by
for
the
Mexican
drive-ins,
food.
yep.
Right by the drive-ins, right across the street. Yeah. Sorry, I know that was a...
No.
Nichas is solid though.
Yeah. Oh, I love nichas.
Yeah. And so that's breakfasty. What about your favorite burger place? For hamburguesa.
Ooh, for favorite burger place. I would say probably right now Burger Boy. It's right by our house.
It's a great. It's really taken over Whataburger for sure.
Yeah. Whataburger too.
But Whataburger's got it's just not the same, and it's the quality of service there at this point. Yeah.
I try not to go to Whataburger.
I don't. Yeah. I will.
Yeah, I will.
Don't meet with cheese.
See, we're not even going to ask you about Italian restaurants because we don't want to get you in trouble.
Okay, I'm so I was gonna say I'm so glad you asked that. That I'll answer. And I don't even really care for Italian food, but my favorite restaurant overall is Brazza Brava. For sure has that, and it is my mother-in-law's, right? I got to support a family business, but it's just not because of that, dude. It's really good. At least in my personal opinion.
Yeah, right there on Sunset.
Right there on Sunset and Broadway.
Been there, done that.
The pizza is Santa Mia pizza is my favorite. Lamb chop plate, and then they got the short rib plate. And I really don't get anything with pasta just because
I love the ambiance there.
Oh yeah,
it makes you feel like an old school Italian restaurant.
Yeah,
it's like
a mobster,
little jazzy. Yeah, a little jazzy. You know what I mean? It's
big old brick oven.
Yeah. They got that imported from Italy too, by the way. Like they have to take all those windows down. Yeah, they came across on the ship, and then
they've been open about 10 years now, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. They've been open for probably 11 years now.
Yeah,
just over 10.
I remember. That's my hood. That's
I got it. He's an 09er. Hey, let's go.
He's been all the 09s, right?
Yeah, I've lived. I graduated high school from Converse, which is 109.
Yeah, that's right.
All my kids, well, 2 of them went to Antonian, but like I have 4 that are graduating from Alamo Heights, and I lived there forever. So
you have 6 kids?
Yeah. So there's the 209.
That's awesome.
And then now I'm out in Castroville. That's why I know about it, which is 009.
Yeah.
So I've got 009, 109, and 209. I got the 09s.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm an 09er through and through.
That's awesome.
Just don't. Yeah, the Alamo Heights is. It's funny because we talk about school as we wrap it up. My oldest is 27, so he was in kindergarten there in 04, 05, I think, time frame. And so at Howard.
Yeah.
And really went all the way through. And so I've got 3 that have graduated from Alamo Heights. I've got 1 at the junior school. Their mom taught at Alamo Heights all the way up until this year. Now this year she just moved to San Antonio Academy doing 4th grade. And so I've seen Alamo Heights over the last 21 years or whatever. And it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same as it was.
I don't think any of the schools are though.
It's I've seen other school districts.
They've all had adjustments.
I've seen other school districts really rise and get better, and exceed what Alamo Heights was doing, and Alamo Heights has stayed stagnant, in my opinion.
You get comfortable being the best sometimes.
Yeah,
they weren't like you said.
Well, so like statistically, I remember this on the high school data. Like this was probably like 5 or so years ago. Alamo Heights ranked number 1, right? And then it was Reagan number 2, Johnson number 3, and Bernie Champion number 4.
Yeah.
And I think like that to hear that, right? Like because of the it being the boundaries that they have, and it's so hard for people to get in there unless you go into those little apartments or condos.
Well, and it's the most socioeconomically diverse school district in San Antonio.
Is it? Yeah.
Because they do have the weekly rentals, they have the apartments.
Yeah.
So they have, but they get segregated within the school system.
Oh yeah.
And so you have those of means that make sure that their kids are in the AP classes, even if they are not really ready for the AP classes as a student, but they have the money and the resources to give them tutoring and give them everything, and the wherewithal to pressure the school to keep them in those, because that's where a certain element of the school is. And then there's the general ed, which is typically the lower socioeconomically kids. And so even though I'm talking a little bit of shit.
Yeah,
it is what it is, man. It's there's definitely 2 worlds living in Alamo Heights, and you can watch it, you can see it. Yeah. And I'm sitting here floating in the middle. It's like I don't like any of them.
Nice. Let's go, kids.
We're teachers' kids, man.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I would have rather like my one day went to the engineering school and stuff like that. Like we really were trying to get him to, like it would have been through like scholarships and stuff to like St. Mary's Hall or something like that. Like because like there are much better programs now.
That's a pretty prestigious school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have some, that's a fun school.
Yeah. They got nice campus for sure. We're there kind of often.
Lanham Napier spent a lot of money on there. Oh, Rackspace money.
Yeah.
He was the CEO there. He took them public anyway. All right.
Awesome. Do us a favor.
Talking about schools.
Hit
We're just
that
talking
like and subscribe. Check out Gilley on all the social media platforms. How do they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Gilley Mendoza 11, and even on Facebook, Gilley International Group, or my name, Gilley Mendoza, and it's spelled Gilley. LinkedIn.
Don't forget the E.
Yeah, that's right.
Catch y'all on the next one.
Just like Gilley's.
Yeah.